Hello.
Alright, so, what type how much usage do you think you get out of your iPad? You said you're like an avid user, a sometimes user, a occasional user.
Occasional,
Occasional.
infrequent, yeah.
Okay, when do you normally use your iPad?
Usually I use my iPad when I'm on trips. So on a plane, on a bus, anytime I have a long ride involved. If I'm on the road, waiting at an airport, I'm more likely to use it than at home, just because I have less options and it's usually more convenient than carrying or opening my laptop. At home, I use it when I just need to quickly get on the internet and just browse newspaper, some kind of news. The apps I use on it the most often, though, are typically like finance apps or email. So it's kind of like a quick alternative to my laptop because my laptop drives me crazy
Okay.
and it crashes a lot. So, yeah.
Okay. So when you're using your iPad, where do you usually utilize? Is it often on top of the desk? Is it in your lap?
In my lap, in my hands. I really don't set it on a desk. I have a case, but the case isn't really meant to sort of stand up on its own. So I
Okay.
just kind of hold it like a book. Um, and in terms of functions, I use it for watching movies, reading books, and reading the news. So it's usually in my hands.
Okay, and would you say that it's light enough and comfortable enough to hold it on its own?
It's a little heavy, um, but I compare it to like a Kindle, which I also have. So the Kindle I prefer for books, generally because it's better on my eyes and it's lighter. But I prefer the iPad because it allows me to do books plus movies
Oh,
plus
yeah.
photos. Yeah,
Multitasking on top of those.
exactly.
Do you hold your Kindle differently?
I can hold it with one hand, which I like. So that is a convenience issue. But usually I hold them just like books. I'll hold them usually with two hands because my Kindle has a case on it. Um, my iPad obviously is a little bigger, a little heavier, so I usually have to use two hands, bottom left and bottom right corner.
So the difference in the Kindle then is you're used to like writing code in two openings, so it's
Yeah,
not a big deal. Whereas the iPad is like you need to hold it with
hold
two
both sides.
hands. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. For instance, you obviously take it with you, so you go to the airport and on trips like that. So when you take it with you, how do you carry it or how do you store it?
So either I have a shoulder bag or a backpack, and usually the main cushion slot is for my laptop. But I like to put it like right next to it, so I'll keep it just slide it in flush with my books or my binders or my laptop.
Okay, do you put it in a case then when you're doing
Yeah, so it actually has a case around it, which is the one that my buddy sold to me. I don't know what the brand it is, but it's kind of like hard on top, and it kind of fits in snugly, so it surrounds both sides of the back.
So is it like the one
It's
that
like a book cover, yeah.
it opens up so it has a hard front, so with the idea of protecting the screen,
Yep.
but it's not really gonna protect it from getting like compressed at all, right?
It will protect it a little bit, I think. I think it's meant to avoid any like direct
No.
knocks, exactly, from anything like blunt or like a corner or anything. But I don't know how strong it is, so I haven't tried it.
Let's see what else to get for you. So when you're at home, mostly is it in the case?
It's always in the case.
It's always in the
I never
case.
took it
Okay,
out.
you never take it out. Nice.
It does have. I put uh, there's a brand called Zag, Z-A-G-G, that
Okay.
has like a laminate shield, so I put it over the front so to avoid any scratches on the screen, and on the back so to avoid any dings.
Do you find that having the laminate on the screen changes the way that the functionality of it, or the feel of it, or the aesthetics of it?
I mean, the screen is definitely much more. It's like a kind of a rubberized, um, transparent screen, um, which is kind of a pain to put on because it's kind of sticky and then you form air bubbles and it looks kind of funky, but eventually it all settles.
I
Um,
remember when you put it on your
that was a
iPad.
nightmare. But that part was pretty straightforward, and it makes sure that the device itself doesn't get all scuffed up. So that's why I like it.
Do you think it's weird that you like buy a device and you try like all of these things to protect it? Do you think that maybe we should just make it so it doesn't get damaged?
I mean, it's kind of par for the course. I think that the advantage is you can choose what you like. So if you want a thinner case or a thicker case or rubberized or plastic, that you have that flexibility. So I mean, does it suck to have to pay more? Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of that flexibility of going to eBay and getting it cheaper.
So if you obviously you didn't buy the case that you did, you bought it from somebody else, maybe probably you bought it because it was easy and they maybe gave you a discount. But if you when you're thinking about getting a case, are you thinking more about aesthetics so that it looks professional, maybe it's leather bound more so that it's more durable, so you wouldn't mind the plastic just drop, maybe the cell phone camera, maybe the browser, something like that.
For the iPad, I was going a little bit more for aesthetic. Like my iPhone's a little different. I wanted just a nice looking case that was, you know, if I could do that and not worry about it, I'd be happy. Because I take it everywhere, exactly. So the iPad's a little bit different in the sense that I wanted something that was professional and kind of sleek. But you know, if a knock came along, I wouldn't have a big crack in my screen.
Okay. Do you have any other accessories?
No.
Is there anything that you can think of recently that you want to get?
Yes. The Kensington case that has a keyboard built into it is what I was looking at because, you know, if I'm on the road and my laptop dies like I did last weekend, I want to put notes in to the iPad and transfer them out later. But, you know, typing on the screen is a pain in the butt.
Yeah, the handwriting, right?
I prefer to do handwriting. Like if I have a computer, I'd much rather prefer just a typing mechanism.
Okay. Interesting. How's that one work?
It's Bluetooth accessory which is built in the case. So if this were the iPad case, what you have is open it up. The screen is here. iPad or the Bluetooth keyboard would be here. It stands up on its own. You turn everything on, and then it just works just like any keyboard.
It's interesting. Okay. That's all I have. What about you?
Is there the case that you use in your phone that is there what kinds of
I mean, I can't think of anything glaring that needs to be changed about it. I think it works pretty well. It's thin. It's got that hard cover. Getting the iPad in and out of it is kind of a pain in the butt if you want to remove it because it's super snug and kind of an expanding rubber type compound. But it works pretty well, and it's snug when it is in there. I should add that I do have one other accessory for it, which is um, a portable battery pack. So the brand I think is called New Trent, and it's basically like a device about this size. It has a little port out, and then it goes straight into the iPad, and that adds probably a good 12 hours more of life. So I use that when I'm on the road, and it works for my iPhone too. But yeah, just other improvements to the case. I mean,
Like you just hold on your iPad, does your case accommodate that? Or
it's just a rotation of the actual device. So the case isn't really affected at all because it still attaches to everything. So that it doesn't impact it for the better or for the worse.
I know that they have this one where you flip it around.
Yeah, I mean that's really not a big concern to me. Besides the keyboard, I mean the only accessory I was thinking about buying was one of those pens, the stylus. Yeah, because I thought about would this be a good substitute for note taking? So I could have digital copies of everything, be able to draw graphs out, with a computerized program. So something like that might be an improvement to any future product that if it came with a stylus, that'd be nice.
when you're watching movies or using it as how what position
Landscape.
that's it and what is it with both hands does it have to
That depends on where I am, but usually it's with two hands. Sometimes I hold one hand if I just, feel so inclined. If I'm sitting in an airplane, usually I'll stand it up because it doesn't stand on its own, but the way the book is shaped is that if I have one of those airplane tables with a little back, it'll just slide up nicely and it'll just hold in kind of that V position. So, yeah, usually it's landscape for all the times when I do movies or for books. Actually, I'll keep it in its portrait position. And same thing for internet access, but it's not like I keep it in one position all the time. I kind of just whatever floats my boat.
do you ever use your ears to listen to music
Occasionally when I'm doing something on the iPad, but I won't just take out the iPad just to listen to music on its own. That's what I use this for.
how important is being outside hands
I mean, I have used my hands all the time when I'm holding it, so if it were to be used in any kind of communication setting, like I've seen some commercials for the Samsung Galaxy, where it's got a little stand so you can put it on a table and it's got the video camera. So if I was doing a video conference call, certainly would be attractive there. But given the size of the iPad, it's kind of like it's a little big, it's a little heavy. In terms of any other handheld um, uses, I mean, or hands-free, I can't think of any. Anything else? Sweet.
Thanks, Aaron.
Thank you. Stop.